In less than a month, I am turning 26 years old, and I decided to take the time to sit down, reflect, and think about all of the things that I wish I had told myself when I started my early 20s. So I have my two trusty whiteboards. First up is know the market before you make your decision to study what you're about to study. Don't just make the decision based on convenience, price. I studied a bachelor's degree in linguistics and I moved to Switzerland in 2019, at the end of 2019. That's when I just started my degree. And I was delulu enough, to be honest, to think that I'd be able to figure out the market after I had finished my degree, thinking that I would end up in a position like at a media company, in editorial, in publication. That's where I always wanted to end up, which is why I did the degree. But I was in the wrong country for that. The market in Switzerland for graduates from a linguistics/English program is not very good. Like, the choices for you to be able to move forward with a career after the fact is not really very wide. You are kind of required to speak German very fluently, like C1 level from the get-go, which I had not thought would be the case. I thought that I would be able to bridge that period of time to learn German with a English teaching job, which I tried to do it. I built my own business around that actually in the beginning of my 20s, teaching English online as a TEFL teacher. But for that, I also needed another qualification. Don't forget that. It was also not exactly what I wanted to do because I wanted to end up in a class physically. If then, all of that was because I had not known the market that I was stepping into. Something that would have been more appropriate for me to have done when I was in my early 20s was a business degree. Now I'm doing an MBA to not rectify the situation, but to kind of move in the direction that I want to go into, that also fits with the market requirements at the moment. Enough about that. Let's go on to the next one. The next one is to find the right therapist before settling with the first one you find, the first one with availability. Find the right therapist. Oh my God. I had by now gone through 4 different therapists. Only the one I am now with since 6 months has actually been the right fit for my needs. I wish I had known that not all therapy methodologies would work for me. I don't want to talk down on the therapists that I had worked with. For sure, they were amazing therapists that had been able to help a lot of people, but I was not one of them because their methodology did not fit my needs at the time. This is not sponsored, by the way, but I do want to mention something that I had done. I had done like a questionnaire from this company called Like Mind, and they help you to essentially figure out the methodologies that would most probably suit you best with the current needs that you have, which helps you to choose a therapist. So check that out. The link is wherever the link is. You can find it somewhere in the description below. This is like an extension of the advice to find the right therapist. Start therapy sooner. If you think that you should be in therapy, you probably should be in therapy. The third piece of advice is to learn about personal finance sooner. I had to relearn how money works as an adult. I grew up with a mentality that you work hard and you get rewarded for that hard work that you've done. But the modern world doesn't work that way. Knowing how to invest, knowing what retirement fund options there are, especially because I'm an immigrant. I had migrated from South Africa to Switzerland, and I wish I had done my own homework regarding how to start a pension fund here, a private pension fund, what the social security programs look like here in Switzerland. I wish I had known that earlier. Also, where to put my money once I had made enough to start saving. I realized only when I was 23 that actually my money could be working for me instead of just sitting in a savings account. And this year, actually this month, marks the first month that I had put my first 100 francs in my Säule 3a, which is the private pension fund here in Switzerland. And yeah, I couldn't be more happy. I'm very, very proud, and I'm very excited to see where this personal finance journey takes me. And like I've been able to turn a negative view about money to a positive view about money because of learning about personal finance. But maybe I should make another video about that another day. So the next learning is to get mentors, to surround myself with people who are smarter and more experienced than me. That also said, choose the people that you hang out with very wisely. I know it sounds cliche, but it's so important. Like, the people you surround yourself are truly what defines what you think about and how you act in a very large sense. The next piece of advice is to work hard but to not burn out. In my early 20s, when I just started my career 4 years ago as a product manager, I was so excited that I had gotten the role and that I've landed a first big girl job, essentially, that I tried so hard to impress the people I was working with. I really pushed myself to a limit that I should not have pushed myself to. In a way, I'm grateful that I had done so, because now I know my limits, and I probably wouldn't get to that point again. But burnout isn't fun, and I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. The next one is to not be afraid to be a beginner. Being a beginner at anything is actually so precious. When you want to start working out, lifting weights, like I'm starting a weightlifting journey now, and I know nothing about this. And it's actually so exciting because I'm able to research and really dive deep into all of the muscle groups and like learning about my body. And pushing yourself to learn something new is very noble, I think, because you are going to come out on the other end of it with a new skill, which is fantastic. And it's something that you really need for your personal growth and also for your career. You're able to, in the end, put that on your CV and say, hey, I started a YouTube channel when I was 19. Yeah, it has less than 200 followers, but that doesn't matter. I'm able to cut script and film videos and talk in front of a camera. Those are all hard skills that are irreplaceable, and you cannot achieve those without being a beginner first. Number 7, second whiteboard. Your life is interesting, document it. So talking about filming videos, filming content, I wish I had started filming content and documenting my life a lot earlier, because when I first moved here, I think my life was a lot more interesting than it is now, because I moved to a new country, everything was new and exciting, I was learning a new language, and now it's more, I'm cruising a little bit more and I'm focusing a lot more on my career. So that's the kind of content that you would be seeing around here. Personal growth and business, that's in my bio as well. It's what I talk about now. But I wish I hadn't started the journey with this motto only. I wish I had some form of documentation about where I had come from in my early 20s. So yeah, I have a bit of a regret with that, with regards to that. And I also see a lot of really amazing creators who I look up to and aspire to learn from, who started their content creation journey so much earlier than me and really nailed down what it means to have a personal brand and how they talk in front of the camera, what they talk about. And they really have been able to inspire people throughout the years. And I wish I had started earlier, because I might be a lot further now than I am. at the moment, I wouldn't have had to be a beginner essentially in my 26th year of life with regards to building a personal brand. I wish I started earlier. The 8th piece of advice is to lean into my creative side. It's the energy that will trickle down into everything else you do. Oh my God, yes. The energy that will trickle down into everything else you do. Being creative does not necessarily mean you're an arts and crafts kind of person. Creativity is a lot more interesting and intricate than that. Creativity is what is able to help you in a pickle when you have a difficult situation that you have to deal with and you have to find a solution. It takes human creativity in order to decide what possible career options you might have based on your experience and on your education. To bring those things together, that is a creative act. A creative act is also making a video about your early 20s and all of the things you wish you had known when it started. That's a form of creativity. Creativity is not just paintbrush and paper. And practicing the act of creativity can make a lot of other things in your life a lot easier and more enjoyable, more rewarding even. Number 9, 2 more left. Number 9 is to cherish what you have right now. Freedom and time. Well, I don't think that this is the case for everybody, but for me, when I was 19, I moved here and I reflect on this a lot. The sky was the limit, essentially. I was able to choose where my life might go next, and I had the time to reflect on that, but I was so focused on trying to make ends meet financially, and trying to build a online business with my English teaching, that I didn't see the trees from the forest, in the sense that I was teaching like 9 to 10 hours a day, and just to be able to have enough money to pay my health insurance. If you know, you know, health insurance and taxes in Switzerland is so expensive. I actually should have used this time and been brave to ask for help when I needed it. Last but not least, I said something earlier about not being afraid to be a beginner, and I talked a little bit about skills there. Number 10, the last piece of advice, is to skill up, collect skills in your 20s, like Pokémon. I wrote down here sales and networking, skill up, sales and networking. Those two skills I've always kind of put to the side because they seemed so scary to me. I wasn't always a person who was naturally charming. I have leaned more into that extroverted side, I guess, in the last few years, like maybe the last 2 years. But in my early 20s, I didn't think that I'm that person. You know, I told myself this narrative like, no, I'm not the kind of person who goes up to somebody and asks them what they do for a living. I'm not the kind of person who goes up to someone and tries to cold sell them a product or service that I offer. And I really missed out on learning essential business skills in my early 20s, which I am now not rectifying, is not the right word, but trying to learn and to become good at it. Those are the 10 things that I wish that I had known when I was in my early 20s, now that I am moving into my late 20s. Although it sounds like I have lots of regrets because I guess I said that a few times in this video. I actually am so incredibly grateful for the time and for the resources and for the experiences that I've accumulated in the last couple of years. Now that I'm turning 26, I just wish I had known a lot of these things earlier. So yeah, as I said in the beginning of this video, I hope that this reaches someone who is in their early 20s, hoping and wishing for somebody to give them the advice that they desperately are looking for, like I had when I was your age. So stay tuned for the next one, and happy birthday to me.